So the algorithm on YouTube, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you ever think that it's a profiler?
Yeah, it tries to find.
Yeah, but do you know how it works though?
No.
No? Well, you can apply this to any system. It's an interesting thing, right? So depending on your situation in your life, yes? Certain videos might appear with a certain title. It's called clickbait. Or if you do it based on a picture, or if you do it based on the wordplay, the linguistical. Now, it all depends on your situation at home or your life. And if anything is watching you inside your own life, yes, basically, whilst you're around, we know this happens in the world. And based on whether, let's say, an organization, so we'll take Saffron for example, let's say they go and put you through a shit ton of crap deliberately. But at the same time, they know that you're connected to a YouTube platform. And then, give or take, at the certain amount of ratios or intervals that you experience, let's say, which would be behavior that they inflict onto you, but they know that you're using YouTube or social media or whatever it may be. So they start putting you through crap. And then you get a video that says, help is coming. And it's bigger than you prayed for. Now, would you be more likely to click that? Thinking that at the time you're going through a dark tunnel and everything else, and everyone wants to be saved and everyone wants this. And then you can have another one that was a bit more like this. Chosen one, top level agents been watching. And then this one might let you put your guard down. Well, do I need to record any of this stuff that's happening? Because somebody else has got it. Someone else has got it. And it goes a little bit more deeper. You might want to prepare yourself for sudden wealth. Now, before you go clicking on your videos that turn up in your feed, you need to ask yourself a question. What would I usually do? Given the circumstances of my life, what would I usually click? Because you're giving away data. And based on that, they can then tell if anyone is looking at this data. And remember, data is a pricey thing, right? Ooh, you pay a pretty penny for that. Here's another one. Your energy exposes their darkness. They know you're different and it scares them. Do individuals that are coming around doing loads of stuff inside your house right underneath your nose go through the time with Saffron? Here's another one for you, right? And in this, trying to profile your system, you've just profiled their system. Do you know how that works?
How?
You take two videos that are identical. Now, remember this, you've usually got a load of titles that come up on your algorithm, yes? And some of it might be towards this way. We know you don't give a shit. Or we know that you care, but help is on its way. And then there's some other junky bits in there as well. It doesn't matter. It's all about the clickbait, okay? And this can go into an AI system. And it begins to take this and it sort of, in this situation, this person is going to be looking for this comfort based on this, this, and this. This means that we can push them. They'll look for this. They'll let their guard down. They won't record because something else is already recording them. And they know that those ones that are recording are on your side because this tells you that it's on your side. And you can say, don't listen to videos, but we are influenced by things like this. It also works in newspapers. It also works with news articles. And then people might say, well, there are some things on YouTube that are getting loads of views because they're going at this and look at all of these people standing up. Yes, I could use that system too. The things that I want to tame in society, and I need the people's opinion, this works both ways, by the way. So if I need to curb the police, what would I do? I will allow loads of videos in the algorithm to show the police misconducting, that when people go and put their mobile phone on the police and they start filming police officers, the absurdity of this, and the cops come out and they're, as generally, most people do ask, what are you filming? It's just a curious thing, isn't it? It's just how we are, we're just like that. So the cops will come out and say, why are you filming a police station? I mean, it poses concern, doesn't it? Okay, perhaps when you're in a house, people might say, what are you filming outside my house? Why are you filming my house? What are you planning on doing? Again, but it's an average house, so perhaps someone's going to burgle you or do this. If it's a police station, it becomes a security, perhaps, maybe. But again, police are paid by councils. If we think about it through council tax, which is government, But even still, if I needed to curb the police and control their actions a little bit more, what can I do? I'll let this run rampant through the algorithm.
Yeah.
Why? Because then I get public opinion on your side. The keyboard warriors come out.
Yeah.
And then they start watching it. The views rack up. And it's sort of saying, overstep the mark and look at our power of the people by using people to outrage.
Yeah.
And then they say to the government, we demand that you do something about this. And then, wouldn't you believe I already wrote the law? Here you are. And then that's how you sort of, you can curb this. So you can sort of do this with sort of things. So it works both ways. Also, it tells you so I told you that there's two videos. One, everyday scaffolding around a particular building.
Yeah.
No backstory, and it starts taking up on views. Same chimney, same thing, backstory. No views. Now that is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
For these ones that are going to come and help you. And I did it with another one with a roof tile. One where I didn't make a lot of sense on it, and another one where I made more sense. The one that I made more sense, no views, both pretty much the same amount of time. But the one where I didn't make any sense, then booms up the algorithm. Now look at that. Look at that little type of protection there. Now we know weakness. Now we're profiling. And you can use this. And technically your YouTube channel, I'm not the only one that gets sort of shadow banned and selective of what is released and what isn't. I'm not the only one. But anyway, so most people can then test this algorithm out for themselves. You can make your own. After all, it is a channel. And what takes off? Well, perhaps it might show that humans are stupid. There's another one. Lots of people doing idiotic stuff on YouTube and it seems to go really far. What does that mean that I can do? Then I need to write laws to protect these people. Perhaps I need to do this and put these rules into housing associations in order to look at all these people being and doing stupid things. Do you see? This then shows you where the structure is weak. And in by profiling you, or so it seems, you must ask yourself a very important question. What data am I giving away? And you'll say, but I don't write comments. You don't need to. It's all about the title. What are you clicking? What's going on in your life at the time? Now, I noticed this started to creep in. We were next door to a particular psychological college, right?
Yeah.
And when things started to happen, you then noticed the change in the YouTube algorithm. Some of these videos started happening, but, you know, I clicked into it and then sort of left it. And this was me baiting. I was baiting to see what would happen. And anyway, so then it went through a little bit of a calmer time. A few of these videos now and then. And then it went into the Bunwell time, yes? And then these videos lent in. And some of the titles on it is very interesting. Lots of these titles. And it's easy how we can... Here's another one. You've been through hell. But instead of ashes, you found fire. Doesn't that seem so comforting at the time that you're going through hell? And it's almost like someone seeing it. And here's my favorite one. Someone has receipts that you were telling the truth. Yeah, I've got receipts. I've got many of them. Haven't put them all up because surprise is the element. But however, there's time limit on all court systems or whether you want to take someone to court. If you want to take a system such as Saffron to court, you have 3 years to do so. So whilst someone keeps saying this, 2 years have already passed. Then it gets closer to the 3rd year. And then someone comes out and they get aggressive in your house. And then perhaps what type of video am I going to say? So I said it in multiple formats. Now, I was just freeing it from myself. At the end of the day, I don't need to say anything because when push comes to shove and I upload the data of the incident, then other people then will be able to tell their own... They'll be able to figure out whether that's correct for Saffron to do that or not. It's then up to public opinion then, isn't it? And then they'll be ridiculed and everything else. However, if I put it on YouTube, it will never take off. So that's interesting, isn't it? Don't you think that is very interesting? So is it really about truth or are we being controlled in 2 ways? One, we're building a profile about ourselves. If you're clever enough, you will learn how to utilize that to see the profile of the system and how they all work together in order to try and protect one another. that would then tell me that they all use the same system, which is stupid. It's like putting multiple eggs in a basket, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it can be done to map behavior. It can also be done to let go of your guard. You can rest your guard down, you know, drop your defenses a little bit because somebody else is dealing with that. It's all done behind the scenes. What a load of crap. No system like this. And I've always learnt it that corporations protect corporations. I've always noticed that. They all protect one another because they're all standing on the same foundations. That's the funniest thing ever. None of them are doing anything really much different to one another. So it becomes in their best interest that one corporation to protect another corporation that then protects another corporation. And now if they're protecting each other in this way, what's to say that that corporation being Saffron, which is a stolen tax money at the end of the day, then works with a Google corporation, and we might say that it's not, and it's a hell of a conspiracy. And they also say that snuff rooms don't exist. Would you say that that last property was a snuff house?
Yeah.
Yeah, or known as a red room. People say that these are all on the dark web. No, they're on the surface web if you know how to look and what to look for. Now, anyway, again, if you want to send a message out to the world, you don't do it through YouTube. You do it through word of mouth, which then would make a new type of a system that I think it would be really important for the next generation to learn how to share hard drives with one another. And it creates a chain. You know, because if these corporations aren't going to make this so that it's fair for everybody, and they're only going to have higher rights for these ones, and what's more, they're going to take your data and give it to these ones in order for them to continue their dirty deeds, so that they can get away with it, blatantly get away with it, and only pay a few £1,000s when they're, you know, £1,000 here and £1,000 there. Oops. That's stolen tax money doing that. You know, if I was a corporation, I'd distance myself from corporates like that, but there you are. And then what is the data? Yeah, could you find out about this? Yeah, all right then, you are. Or what's he saying about this? It's all right, we got you. We've moved it out of the algorithm. Don't worry, no one will know about it. But we're telling him that we've got it. It's crap, isn't it? So I think a new way to do things for the next generation would be to share data sticks. One takes a copy of it and then copies it on, sorts it out, defrags it, sends it to someone else, sends it to someone else, sends it to someone else, and they make a chain network this way. More stronger than any YouTube algorithm. You might not get views, but you know, you can send messages to one another without it being intercepted, without it being shadow banned, and then you are in control. Now, what it will do, a type of situation like this, pushes the big tech companies on the arse. And they will either people will start losing interest in that, and it's a way to connect people as well as sending this data so people get to go to one another. And sure, this person might have a friend group with 5 in it. They take a copy of it, but their 5 friends that are away from this group, they give it to their 5 friends, 5 friends, 5 friends. And before you know it, truth begins to circulate back in society once more. And then the companies, the big tech companies, will have a choice then, won't they? How come there is a difference when the kids do it this way and the next generation do it this way? And there's a difference to what is being seen and shared versus this way. And then that awakens people to it. And now we've got Saffron playing silly buggers, perhaps, which this could then link to council, perhaps, which then links to Google, perhaps. You know, if you ever wanted to beat this, that's how you do it. And you can say whatever you want in this particular way, and you can pass any information that you want. You then have freedom to do so. That's what you've got, is freedom. You don't have laws, you don't have warriors that sit behind desks grabbing your data. You have the title not based on clickbait, and by sending one, you pass another. You also got a lot of memory, but this becomes a better way to do things, and it pushes the platforms on the back. And then it opens up a market for something legitimate to come through. It doesn't have to go through all of this rubbish and this nonsense of shadow banning this, removing that. You want to pass music? you pass it that way. You want to do this, which then starts to push on the music industry, which then pulls them into line. You know, this is weird, isn't it? In profiling you, they actually gave you a load of data to profile them. And I've got nothing to lose. You've got more to lose. It would be a very silly thing to do. And this only works if the person is unknown. Here's another one for you. Forgive me. Trust. Untold. Nostalgia. Something about you got the whole town shaking. What a load of crap. A whole community teamed up to destroy you and failed miserably in front of everyone.
That massages ego, that one, doesn't it?
Ooh.
And some of them are for sad people or
Have they
lonely
been
people.
humiliated? Is there any types of justice? And then what is justice? Your justice, their justice, or just a smack on a wrist and they keep billions in the process? I'm pretty sure that there should be a hefty fucking penalty on any corporation that have taken council houses and they're profiting off of these. I think there should be a hefty law. In fact, they should stand above any other corporation and show the way. Not act this way, not come into houses swearing at people in front of children and everything else. No. Not acting violent in front of people, because because that's apparently okay, isn't it? Come in and put children subject to this stuff, that some of the water quality, Litland's perfect little teeth, and then all of a sudden we're going and drinking this water and we're all got decaying teeth. We're going through an absolute minefield worth of stench, maggots under blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And most people are like, no, it's okay. No, it was a year out of a life, that was. And it put a lot through Litland's children.
Yeah.
And then the council was supposed to come in and help that. And then what? Social services would be okay with that type of child neglect, child abuse?
No, they shouldn't be.
No, they shouldn't.
All the health was not good there, was it?
No, it really wasn't. And it was targeted against health records, which you would then say the Help Hub got access to my file, which you think it's to use it for your help,
They
and
don't
then they
need
use it to your disadvantage, not as a way to help you. It was a way to help you at the same time as milking and taking the data so that they could look at that and think, right, we've got a little bit of time to get a house in order. Now, only I know that situation. Only I know that situation. I went through that, and it sounds very paranoid, doesn't it? But it's when you piece it backwards. That's what happened. So when they helped with this data, then all of a sudden they managed to have this house available on the council. And then when you move into it, and then perfect time in eviction notice. And then after that, the house was then dressed up like the other side of your health records in order to cause maximum damage.
Yeah, if you think about it, if they cared about you, they don't need any data. They just keep all the houses right.
At the same time, I'm on the phone to someone at the council and they said the government doesn't work for your benefit. It's detrimental to you. Now, that could be projection, right?
Yeah.
That could be what they were doing. Not the government, but the council.
Yeah, that's a very
And
arrogant
it was
statement from them. Yeah.
The same way that it's, you know what you can do, don't you? Well, what's that? Well, you know who you complain to, don't you? I don't make the rules. What, is it government? Nah. Up a little bit more. EU. Now you got it. A little bit of this spoon dripped into people's minds and then we leave the EU. Did we leave it because we wanted to leave it? Did we leave it for the right reasons? Or did we leave it because we were played by a gentry?
Yeah, we were played. There were no savings or
And
whatever
now
they
the same
said.
thing has now shifted, but now it's government.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the gentry were first, then came government, didn't it? If we go back for our history,
Yeah, gentry was first around king.
they really don't like that then. And then could it be that the king is also hated in this aspect as well? There was a disagreement between the family back then and the gentries, weren't there? Their family were liable to have been beheaded back in the day, if I remember rightly.
Yeah,
and they had to give
gentry-
over some land. Is that right?
Gentry were playing against each other and using the kings in
Yeah.
the process.
Which then pushed the people up against the particular. Yeah, so again, this seems like some sort of battle that we're in over bloodlines that we're born into here. No one wants to call it out for what it is. And I think that this is some sort of tool here just to keep these families going in their delusional loops. And they want to drag us all into it.
Yeah, that's why many countries that raised from empires decided not to be kingdoms, to cut off the old structure as much as possible. New structure raised later on, but
yeah, I guess if it is a gentry, then did the family have much say over that, or were they bribed to be beheaded, and therefore it was a safeties in numbers ratio as opposed to a kingdom? It's more one family, isn't it? These things can become targeted. So it's either stay in public eye, and I think there are still some things being said through the sort of man, just different things, especially Diana. You hear it in Thetford, didn't you, with that person that was saying that's common in that area, that has been spoken about quite a bit. No accident. But there again, if me and my little one have the same health condition, if we'd have died through Bunwell, what would it have been?
accident because you have the same condition. Yeah?
What happens if when our brakes were cut? And then the police said that it was due to speed bumps.
Yeah, they would say, "Oh, it was an old car."
If we'd have died.
Yeah.
And again, they put children in that. So if they cannot hold the margin for children, then what makes you think they'll hold the margin for women?
They won't hold the margin for anyone.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
And the more potent you become, the more speaking you become, the more towards these you become. You notice that your life seems to rain down on you, doesn't it? So, yeah, and there again, I wonder how many of us are having it that it's the government, it's the government. Is it really the government? When you think about it, safety in numbers. Sure, it isn't perfect structure. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. But this one is far fucking worse.
Yeah, government doesn't have time to do that stuff to individual people like that.
Yeah, but to my mind, to my way of thinking, wouldn't a good government want that type of... it builds empires. Wouldn't they want more collective people to be this way towards more like-minded towards them, which then rubs off on the country itself, which then rubs off against the structures, back and forth, back and forth. And we don't have a state of independence here, do we? The Bill of Rights. No. We don't have that. Well, we perhaps did. But we do have a royal family.
You have royal family, you have all the Magna Carta.
An active version of Magna Carta. But again, it's a piece of paper that ages. That's the problem with it.
It does old, date. Yeah,
and when it dates, we don't grow with the times and we stay stuck. Some of the Bill of Rights are a bit strange, and when you follow it, it's to who wrote it. Yeah,
people should build on it and continue with that. Just take it as a foundation.
But if you had an active person AI system, doesn't really matter. But still, here it's a kingdom, so you think that they could be in protecting of the people in this, the royal family, that when something is enough from people. But there again, you need an honest system. How are we ever going to have an honest system when it's hiding certain things, it's moving this, it's changing that, it allows this to go because it's got an agenda? And then how safe is that when it comes to government leaving EU? How can we trust that if this is how it's operating now? And anyone that's been shadow banned would understand this. If this is how it operates with you trying to speak truth, then how the hell can you rely on a platform like this to tell you the truth when it comes to leaving the EU, when it comes to this, when it comes to politics? How can you trust it? And when it comes to news, how can you trust it? Because if it's being like this to everyday people, what do you think it's doing to others? And what's it letting go through the mill in order to make an agenda happen? That's another question entirely. Shit me, to be a fucking intelligence officer in these times is a hell of a role, I think, with these sort of structures. These are good tools in some aspect, but they're also incredibly shit at the same way. And again, highest bidder, right? And then it poses the question, do we need our own platform here? Does anywhere need its own platform? Be multicultural, sure. If you want to come into it, from another nation, have a piece of it. Sign up. If you don't, don't. If there's 10 different nations got their own version of it, you want to come and watch some of our stuff, you can. You want to put some account on here, you can. You want to do it here, you can. But again, I don't know if that eliminates the process there of this, and this, and what's acceptable. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? It is really interesting to see the way the world is evolving with these things. And in some aspect, they're really good. But in some aspect, how do you trust that? If it's shadow banning you on a small scale, then what else is it shadow banning? And it usually seems to be a lot of truth that then begins to protect structures. And then it's protecting these structures. And as it's protecting these structures are still going ahead. And then they are, what, killing people? Making it look like an accident. And then what, mining your mindset in order to give it back to them to then know how far they can push an individual. Oh, that person didn't respond. Oh, they did do this video, but we'll let you see it. But no one else will. Be our little secret. And how can we trust a platform like that? That's trust. We use that word very loosely. And to see if it matches up and holds the standard test. Okay, let's start sharing data with one another then. There'll be the word of mouth data, and then there'll be the YouTube structure. And then both of them should marry one another then, shouldn't they? They should mirror image. And then we'll see what people truly care about versus what we're being made to care about. That's a big difference. So yes, I like YouTube, I do. But I think it's gone too far with certain things and put a price on it. And all of this in trying to understand people's mindsets. What? So that we can keep them dumb, so that these structures can continue and we never evolve. Then that's going to make people ask it sooner or later, what's the point in a government? If it's all here, this becomes what, the new government? That's a piece of your action, is it? It's weird, isn't it? Don't you find that very strange?
Yeah.
Because it's already affecting narrative. Interesting. So yeah, how can you trust any of this? That's another question. And then is it about trust? So yeah, no, just looking back on that. And yeah, when you ask that important piece of information to yourself, you've got to ask it inwardly. What am I giving it? We know how easy clickbait works, don't we? Don't you think?
Yeah.
And then this clickbait,
especially for people in variety of mental state, when they are sad or nostalgic or whatever, and they see the right clickbait for themselves.
But it depends on their situation,
yeah, exactly.
Their individual situation, their group situation, and
exactly.
So when you've got a lot of these situations occurring, that's the part that does it.
Yeah.
You know, that will give you a lot of data in that, and then you're clicking it, and you're thinking that you're getting the outlet.
Yeah. They are looking for reassurance for
something. You and someone's doing it. And wouldn't it be such a nice idea to think about that?
Yeah.
No, this isn't going to help
on the other side, there are people who are just like, what will these things that are said? What will these things that are like stressed? Or what will these things, how can we make them come here? That's what they think. They don't think about helping anyone.
Do you want me to give you another one that's my favorite? Well, if that's happening and data is worth things and you put videos up but you're being shadow banned, here's my favorite one. Did you know there are loads of people just like you in the world that are thinking the same shit that you are? Your shit is revolutionary. Your shit is completely different to anything you've ever seen, known, or heard from people. And you've been around, and you've heard other people that have been around. You don't need to be around yourself. And no one has ever spoke about this stuff. You've never heard it. The current knowledge is this stuff.
Yeah, and they will tell you, oh, never seen that.
Then, when you've put that video up, whether it's a small amount or not, they've sold your data. It's a new gambling casino, if you think about it. Oh, we've got this person's data. Anyone want to buy it? You want to mold it into anything that you want?
Yeah, that's what
Or
they
could
do.
we put people through shit so that they give away their stuff because they feel hopelessness?
Yeah.
And then they walk away from it and then yoink, harvesting. Data is worth money. You know, if you want to better your nation, yeah, sure, it starts with education, but it also means about being truthful about what's going on inside your nation. And this can look embarrassing to the rest of the world. I'm sure it can be weaponized. Don't go to the UK. Why not? Because this, and this is happening. Well, I think actually that puts it into people's minds that at least they're bringing it to the forefront. Because at least they see it. And when they see it, it's only a matter of time from this particular empire. This is, I think, how we evolved pretty well, pretty quickly with things. It's because we didn't sugarcoat it. We put it up in forefront. And then we could look at it and think, right, that seems to be a problem. It seems to be a genuine, authentic problem, and people are concerned about it. How do we deal with it? Like this, like this, like this. How does the government operate if it's blind? How does the government fix things if it's blind?
It doesn't.
It can't, because it doesn't know. If it doesn't know what's going on, or if it does, it seems it as a weakness, which is not. It's strength. It's strength to admit where the parts of your nation are failing. And even if it is in a small scale and it's only affecting 10%, that's a probabilities factor that anyone can fall into that. Your grandparents and your children going forwards. You want to be preventing that as much as possible. Then we're rightening up, then we're rightening up. Then what do people truly care about? Mindless numbing of watching people be stupid? I mean, you know, all my life I was told in schools and everything else, don't be stupid, don't be stupid. I was punished for being stupid. Yeah, that was one thing that was for doing stupid stuff. Now it seems to be something that is quite the thing. It seems very popular. You slapped out a fucking education out of me then, didn't you? No, I'm just kidding, but still, you know, it's a very strange thing. You know, I think if we were to make a better platform, one, it'd have to be integral. Sure, it would have to be honest to a degree. And I think a better way to have freedom in it would be to say, okay, this one they're going to be talking about some hot topics. We would say is politically not acceptable, but in this area of it, it is acceptable. This area is where that is not acceptable. This area is where this is acceptable. This area is where this is not acceptable. So you can't please everybody, but in that, and even if some people were another group, you don't fit in either one. There's a new category to be made. Okay, there you are. That is how you please everyone. And then you get to hear from each and every person. You know, I said, that's a very interesting sort of platform, that, isn't it? Categorization.
Yeah.
New, upcoming, and maybe theoretical. This one, currently accepted theories. This one in the mid-ground of going over to that. New ideas, old ideas versus new and old ideas. And just by people viewing into it, tapping a like, and if it exceeds the old, then out with the old, in with the new then.
Yeah.
You still got this one as default. One phases out as one phases in. And then I reckon that creates better politics. And then if I put this into another nation, cool, I could play around with your politics, couldn't I? Well, shit, eh? You could, couldn't you? But there again, wouldn't that make you more stronger? All right, it's a 10% thing. We're sweating the big stuff, but we can also sweat the small stuff too. We've got a little bit of Jenny in our tank. We actually don't have a big enough parliament here. We need we're going to need to expand parliament. Why? Because we need some people to take care of this as part-time, but still it's part-time politics in this area. Can we sort these things out? You task force this, off you go. When the job's done, P45, or move on to another project. Once the job's done, it's done, isn't it? Yeah, fast and thorough. Don't worry, we've got plenty. Become the fixers. Sure, it might not be a perfect system, but it gets there. And again, it's valuable data. This is for space, applied with COVID and different things like that. It's massive data.
Yeah.
Of course it is, yeah. I mean, during COVID, we can look at that as negative, can't we? We all can, and it was very negative, traumatic, and everything else. But we can also benefit finding that.
Yeah.
How would a space program work if we were long distance?
Hmm.
Well, this.
Hmm.
Oh. Okay. Can we counter that? And then in that process where people were getting very depressed and different things like that, can we balance the scale? And if we can fix that, are we then dealing with mental health accidentally by fixing this, the remedy here, which is the remedy for this particular event? What happens if we trial it? Would you like to trial this? Yeah. Some people will, some people won't. Don't force it. And then their word of mouth coming backwards from it. And sure, this way might work for those people, this way works for those, but at least there's multiple fixes happening, and it takes the burden off the NHS slightly. It's an interesting way, isn't it? You can look at it as negative, and it was, but you can also find positives in it, which sounds really weird, but still. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I think that strengthens a nation, don't you? And then other people looking at that from another part of the globe might be like, where do I want to live? They got all of these skills and whatnot. You want to fix anything? No. Oh, we'll go here then. I'll take all of those skills with me. Which again then feeds the fire of benefiting, doesn't it? The whole nation. And anywhere else that adopts this, I think that can extend a system and a process and a way to do things. Also, it teaches you a way of not to do things. It's going to be true that people are going to go into the dark web, yes. Usually people do that. Well, why not give them a place where you can see it, but you have to be age-related, and also you need to sign up to it. Why? Because we don't want this sort of stuff getting into people who are rather sensitive about this. There's no point ignoring a problem because it's just going to boil over eventually, and it has done. We see in that. We need to find out why. And these people might be keyboard warriors and different things like that, but we can mediate it. Yeah. We can go in with the balanced head to be able to look at that and think, can we fix this problem? It's a dark corner, but it's above this. Children aren't going to be affected by it because you have to go through so many different things. Sign your life away. If you go there, you sign your life away. You know, you won't get offended, and even if you do it, it's your problem if you see it in this particular area. You sign up to that, you take the responsibility that comes with it. You don't want to know about that, then go off in your bliss ignorance, which is this way of living. And this is where all the then right sort of group comes around. Now we can find out how we can bridge the gap between the two. And it might not be possible, but at least plain insight as opposed to them disappearing in a dark part of a website somewhere and having it all there where it really festers and you can't keep an eye on it. You don't know what don't hurt you. I disagree. I think that we should be able to see what could possibly hurt us in that aspect. Can't monitor it over there, but you can here. And if you push here, they're going to go there. And that's even more blinded. Then it starts to bubble up, and before you know it, people are rioting, doing this and doing all sorts of weird and wonderful things. Anyway, that's just my opinion on it. I think you can please everybody. I just think that we go through it wrong. We look at things in black and white, don't we? We are very much like that, aren't we? We have these statements of, it's either this or it's this. And usually we lean into this way too far, I think. So... yeah, you're either for or against. No one's ever in the middle. Loads of people throughout the whole of society are in the middle. They're in limbo. And no, it's not a religious subject, is it? Limbo? Perjury? No, loads of people are in limbo. Keep going like that, and then that's a P45 to a lot of structures. Because what's the point? And that number starts to expand, and when it does, well, you've served your purpose. People will then demand something that does cater for that. That's the way it happens. Anyway, that's just my opinion. And again, take it with a pinch of salt, shade of grey, but... You don't know what don't hurt you? Shall we remove the bad smell out of gas then? Saffron would love it. No, I'm just kidding, but still. You don't know what don't hurt you? Why? Can you detect carbon?
No.
Well, if you don't know it, it can't hurt you. Yeah, I don't know about that. So that doesn't even stand up to a natural environment, that.
Yeah.
Can't see pollution, can you? Don't worry, it won't hurt you because you can't see it. And then it erupts so often like it does, and it gets to a part where it's massive.
Yeah.
It's a bit like society, isn't it? And then people's actions then start, and then it causes inconvenience across the nations. You see riots.
Yeah.
It's a factor of it. That's, if you can't see it, it doesn't exist. That's what that is.
Yeah.
We also have this in psychology in ourselves, don't we? If we don't pay attention to the stuff that niggles us, we suppress it, boils over, suppress it again, boils over, and bang, explosion or breakdown. Either or. Come out of nowhere, that person is a monster. Actually, no, it was slowly building. Isn't that right, Saffron? Because of how slowly you go to push people. And then when you get a response, you go and rope around a whole load of laws around it. You use all of these protections. And no, I think it's disgusting. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. I am a great believer in these things can change, but probably not. If it hasn't done in this many decades, then is it ever going to? That's another question entirely. And then they keep on adding more and more little barbs, little jabs, little more. And you're supposed to take that. And then they've got zero tolerance around abuse and everything else.
Yeah.
And the people, where's their zero tolerance to abuse?
Then
if you do call the police in that,
be abused. Yeah.
oh, it's a civil matter, that.
Yeah.
Can you prove it? And then if you tell them no to entering into your house because of it, and because of the endangerment they bring to children, I find these predators, in the way that they've operated and the way that they have been, these are predators.
Yeah, because they don't have the same rules like carers that were predators before, weren't they?
Well, if you don't care about children's well-being and anyone that may have mental health issues, and when you find out about these mental health issues and health issues, you weaponize them. That's predator. That's predatory behavior, that is. Put it another way, you reckon these people would be stupid enough to go around throwing explosives to each other? These are the type of idiots that they are. They will throw live explosives to one another, playing catch with it, playing bats and ball with it. That's what they're doing. And then when the explosive goes off, they blame the explosive. They blame the environment. They blame everything else, but they won't ever look into the mirror and think, as our behavior. And that tells a lot about the character, that does. It really does. And if it's all because they're trying to score some data of how much they can push, then you're really sick. And you need some help. And then I wonder whether you are the cause of mental health in the society.
Yeah, exactly.
And I bet if we start to eradicate this, I bet those numbers drop down, which again can become another thing that then overburdens the NHS. Which again, they can't wait to have that privatised, can they? Look at what they're doing. Privatisation, turning your taxes into profit. That's where we're trending to, isn't it? Interesting. But oops, just an accident. Of course it was. Of course it was. Just a misunderstanding? Yeah, sure. Interesting. But anyway, I'm going to leave that there. So just be careful. Always ask, am I really want to do this? Because the thing isn't on random. Close your eyes and just tap one. And listen to it. I don't know about that. But I think that it's interesting. And it's also very dangerous for people who are quite isolated. Do you notice how they isolate support networks from you so that you then become reliant on this because it becomes your only access to the sort of world? Yes.
Yeah. Because your network sometimes gets into the same situation or
Well,
similar.
you've lost your outer network, right? Because perhaps if the house is in bad condition and it stinks, your family don't want to come over. Your clothes stink, they probably don't want you over their house. Some do, some don't, but again, it's kind of weird. Then it puts strain because you're not yourself in those environments, so you are not acting quite as good, and you're probably a little bit short with the whole situation and frustrated at a year's worth of this. It's actually been a lifetime for me, but there you are. That strains your relationships, which is a network, so that it makes you rely on a network where it doesn't judge, it doesn't this. And it acts like a little family network. We've got you. Let's give you a cyber hug. Come here, look, come on, you're almost there. You're almost there. See the process? Which then gets more psychological data from you and then, builds a profile, which then means they can take the piss even more so, right? And then buy more data and then steal more stuff. Man, if that's how a gentry operates, and the people were to find out about that, might think, cool, you fear. Look how weak it is. Look how fragile it is. And their belief in human perception, and that the people will act that way, and the people will target these ones. And I think that when we have clarity into the situation, and you sit down and think about it, because if you fire off, yes, you could go towards your government, perhaps, and all the rest. But I think it's towards these. And then it makes you create better laws in society that stop these criminals from continuing. They are criminal. Which then strengthens the powers, doesn't it? And then it creates a new branch of criminality.
Yeah.
Because in my understanding of it, it is espionage. When you say that, that's interference of elections?
Yeah.
We can't prove it. Well, I bet we have a better society going forwards if we were to start doing something along these lines, just to be on the safe side, you know? Look how different it would be. Anyway, let's leave it there. And then, beautiful.